Every dollar you spend is a vote for what you value, a vote for how you want to live. And right now, a frightening number of people are casting votes they don't even realize they're making, paying for things that made sense 5 years ago, but have quietly become some of the worst deals in modern consumer history. The prices changed, the quality changed, the math changed, the habit stayed exactly the same. Your parents could trust certain purchases. $1 at a convenience store bought something reasonable. Airport food was overpriced but survivable. Airbnb was genuinely a good deal. These assumptions no longer hold, and nobody has officially notified you that the rules changed. They just quietly updated the fees and hoped you wouldn't notice. Today, we're going through 12 more things that are no longer worth your money in 2026. Not the obvious ones you've already heard about, the sneaky ones, the ones that have been silently draining accounts for years while delivering less value than ever before. Some of these are going to hit close to home. That's the point. The first step to keeping your money is noticing where it's going. Hey, I'm Alice from Money Blueprint, your no-jargon home for building real financial freedom. Let's get into the list. Number 1. Extended warranties. The moment you try to buy anything, a toaster, a television, a laptop, a pair of headphones, someone will lean over the counter and ask if you'd like to add protection for $9.99, peace of mind for just $12. And they'll say it with the calm, helpful tone of someone doing you a personal favor, not the tone of someone whose company makes 50 to 80% margin on this product. That's what extended warranties are, the highest margin item in many retailers' entire business. Not the television, not the laptop, the $12 piece of paper protecting the laptop. Here's why the math never works in your favor. Products typically fail either very early, which the manufacturer's warranty already covers, or much later, well after the extended warranty has expired. The window where something breaks at exactly the right moment for your extended warranty to save you is so narrow that companies make enormous profits banking on it almost never happening. Then add the other variables. Most people forget they bought the warranty. The claims process is inconvenient enough that many give up. And there's always fine print explaining why your specific problem isn't actually covered. Roughly 5% of warranty purchasers ever see a benefit. The other 95% paid for the feeling of security, not the thing itself. The smarter alternative? Start a self-insurance fund. Put what you would have spent on warranties into a dedicated savings account. If something breaks, you have cash. If nothing breaks, which statistically is what usually happens, you keep the money. Over time, the self-insurance fund wins every time. The one real exception, AppleCare on devices you depend on completely and would be genuinely devastated to replace at full cost. That's essentially it. Everything else is profit extraction wearing a peace of mind costume. Number 2. Airport food and drinks. $6 for a bottle of water, $18 for a sandwich that tastes like it was made by someone who had stopped caring before they started, $22 for a sit-down meal that would cost $9 anywhere outside the terminal. Airport pricing has always been predatory, but it's reached a level that should genuinely offend anyone who has recently purchased groceries. The airports know you're captive, you cleared security, your options are whatever vendors paid for the privilege of operating past the checkpoint. They charge accordingly, with the serene confidence of an entity that has nothing to fear from your disapproval. The solution is almost embarrassingly simple. Bring an empty water bottle through security, it's allowed, and fill it on the other side. Eat before you get to the airport like a person who planned ahead. Pack snacks. A 4-hour flight without food will not harm you. The captive pricing model depends entirely on your unwillingness to experience a few hours of minor inconvenience. Refuse to participate. Every airport purchase at these prices is a wealth transfer from your wallet to a corporation that has done precise calculations about exactly how hungry you'd need to be before you'd pay $14 for a beer you can buy at a grocery store for $2. Number 3. Rental cars. You book a trip, flights, $300, hotel, $400. Everything looks reasonable. Then you look up transportation and suddenly you're staring at $80 a day before the fees begin. And then the fees begin. Airport surcharges, facility charges, vehicle license recovery fees, energy surcharge fees, premium location fees, concession fees, tourism fees, and of course the insurance upsell delivered with the urgency of someone who genuinely believes you are one fender bender from financial ruin, coverage your credit card already provides if you just say no. By the time you walk out with the keys, the price you saw when searching has become a charming memory. Industry data shows rental car prices remain 30 to 50% above pre-pandemic levels. The companies discovered people would pay more, decided they liked that, and have shown no signs of reconsidering. Average rental car prices remain 30 to 50% above pre-pandemic levels. Alternatives worth calculating honestly: rideshare for occasional trips, public transit if the destination has it, walking distance if you choose your accommodation strategically. A beach town requiring a car might cost more total than a city with functional transit. Run the full numbers before booking. The sticker price is marketing fiction. Number 4. Airbnb. There was a version of Airbnb that was genuinely a good deal. A local host renting a spare room for less than a hotel, more space, authentic neighborhood, reasonable price. That Airbnb is gone. What replaced it is professionalized property management, sophisticated pricing algorithms, and fee structures specifically engineered to obscure the real cost until you've already committed emotionally to the booking. You see $149 per night, you click through, you discover a $300 cleaning fee, a $130 service fee, local occupancy taxes, and the subtle psychological trap of having already spent 20 minutes reading reviews and imagining yourself in the space. Your 3-night stay just went from $450 to over $900. The cleaning fee is the item that should produce a specific kind of outrage. You're paying $300 for cleaning. You are also being asked in the checkout instructions to strip the beds, start the laundry, take out the trash, load the dishwasher, and run the vacuum before you leave. You're paying for cleaning while doing the cleaning. This would not be tolerated in any other transaction in modern life. Meanwhile, hotels have become genuinely competitive again. Transparent pricing, no surprise checkout tasks, accountability if something isn't right, daily housekeeping. For shorter trips especially, calculate the honest all-in cost per night before assuming Airbnb is still the better deal. The math has shifted dramatically since 2019. Number 5. Movie theaters, unless it's actually worth it. A ticket now averages between $12 and $18 in most markets. IMAX or Dolby push toward $25. A couple going to a standard evening showing, tickets, popcorn, drinks, maybe candy, walks out having spent $60 to $80 for 2 hours of content available on a streaming service they're already paying for. Streaming libraries have become absurdly comprehensive. Home screens have gotten larger. Soundbars have gotten better. Pausing for a bathroom break has always been legal and continues to be free. The movie theater experience isn't dead. It still offers something streaming genuinely can't: the shared, communal experience of watching something for the first time with a room full of strangers, which sounds like a mild inconvenience, but is actually kind of irreplaceable for certain films. A horror movie hits differently in a dark theater with a crowd. A blockbuster climax lands differently when the person next to you also loses their mind. But choosing consciously matters. Go for the experiences that genuinely justify it. Skip the films you're mildly curious about and could watch at home in 2 weeks. Number 6. Grocery store convenience items. Pre-cut fruit, pre-washed salads, pre-marinated proteins, pre-seasoned vegetables already placed on a tray, so close to cooking that calling it cooking feels generous. Grocery stores have discovered that modern life is busy, and modern consumers will pay a premium to avoid the 10 minutes of prep they technically have time for. A whole pineapple costs around $3. Pre-cut pineapple chunks cost $7. You're paying more than double for approximately 4 minutes of cutting. A bag of mixed greens costs $3. A pre-assembled salad kit with a tablespoon of dressing and 12 croutons costs $6.50. The croutons are not worth $2. Pre-cut convenience items can make sense occasionally. If you are genuinely buying a fruit tray for a party and time is the actual constraint,
Fine, but as a regular grocery habit, the convenience premium is one of the most expensive per-minute costs in your budget. A household that buys convenience cuts across every shopping trip can easily spend $30 to $50 more per week than necessary, nearly $2,000 a year for time savings that, honestly, were available the whole time. Number 7. Premium gasoline for most cars. The gas station offers three grades. You're standing at the pump. Regular is $3.60. Premium is $4.20, 60 cents more per gallon. Your car is a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry or a Chevy Silverado, a normal car built for normal fuel, and you're selecting premium because it sounds better, or because you vaguely remember reading something, or because you want your car to feel appreciated. Unless your vehicle manufacturer specifically requires premium fuel, and requires is different from recommends, you are paying more money for nothing that improves your life. Regular grade in a standard engine produces the same performance, the same efficiency, the same lifespan. The premium feels superior. It is not superior for your car. Check your owner's manual. If it says required, buy premium. If it says recommended or doesn't mention it, regular is fine, and your engine will be completely unbothered.
Number 8. Convenience store purchases as a regular habit. Convenience stores exist to solve emergencies. You're on a road trip and need water, you're running genuinely late and need coffee, you locked your keys in your car and you're waiting for roadside assistance, and honestly, you deserve a Snickers right now. These are legitimate convenience store moments. What convenience stores are not designed for, being your regular morning coffee stop, your daily snack source, or a substitute for grocery shopping. Everything inside is priced at a premium of 40 to 200% above what the same item costs at a supermarket. The $3.50 energy drink is $1.40 at Costco. The $2 granola bar is 60 cents in a box of 12. The fountain drink markups are so astronomical they finance most of the store's operations. An occasional emergency stop makes complete sense. A daily habit is an expensive failure of planning, and the planning required is genuinely minimal. Pack the snack the night before, make the coffee at home, fill the water bottle. The convenience store depends on the 8-second decision made at a disadvantage. Decline to make it on their schedule. Number 9. Storage units. The self-storage industry in America generates over $40 billion a year. There are more storage facilities in this country than McDonald's, Starbucks, and Dunkin' combined, which is a sentence that sounds like a statistic someone made up, but is in fact real and says something interesting about the American relationship with stuff. People rent storage units for one consistent reason: they own more things than fit in their living space. Rather than confronting that imbalance, they pay monthly rent to store possessions in a concrete box they rarely visit, slowly forgetting what's even inside. A pilgrimage to the storage unit has the emotional energy of an archaeological dig into a past self. Average storage unit costs $100 to $300 per month. That's $1,200 to $3,600 per year to maintain ownership of things you aren't using. Here's the question worth asking honestly. If you haven't touched something in a year, do you actually need to own it? Or are you paying rent to delay a decision you've already made and simply haven't formally announced? The contents of most storage units, furniture from old apartments, boxes unpacked from the last move, holiday decorations used once annually, exercise equipment that didn't get used at home and is definitely not getting used in storage, are worth less collectively than the rent being paid to house them. Sell what has value. Donate what someone else could use. Discard what is simply taking up space in your life and your budget. The discomfort of that decision lasts a weekend. The storage unit payments continue indefinitely. Number 10. Bar and restaurant alcohol. As a default, not an occasional choice. A cocktail at a decent bar, $14 to $18. A glass of wine, $12 to $16. A beer, $7 to $10. The ingredients in that $14 martini cost approximately $2, which is honestly kind of impressive in its own way. The markup on a martini is higher than the markup on most luxury goods. At least a $500 handbag involves leather.
Bars and restaurants survive on beverage profit. Food margins are thin. Drink markups compensate. The industry has determined correctly that people will pay nearly any price for social drinking because the alternative is explaining to everyone why you're only drinking water, which requires more energy than most people have at 9 p.m. on a Friday. 3 or 4 drinks out once a week easily adds $40 to $60 to your tab beyond food. That's over $2,000 a year on alcohol consumed outside your home, when the same drinks at home cost 70 to 80% less. This doesn't mean never drink at bars. Social environments have genuine value beyond the beverage, and there is a meaningful difference between having drinks with people you like in a place that isn't your apartment and simply having drinks. But conscious awareness of what you're actually paying transforms a passive habit into a deliberate choice. Pre-drinking at home, alternating with water, beer instead of cocktails, wine by the bottle when dining with others. Each strategy preserves the social experience while declining to pay 400% markup for the privilege of alcohol in a commercial setting.
Number 11. Cheap products bought repeatedly. There's an old saying, buy cheap, buy twice. In 2026, it might be buy cheap, buy 4 times, become quietly furious about particle board, and eventually buy the good version anyway. The quality of inexpensive goods has declined significantly while prices have stayed low, which sounds like a deal until you calculate the replacement cycle. The budget dresser costs $80 and falls apart in 18 months. 3 replacements later, you've spent $240 and own something that wobbles. The quality dresser costs $300 and is still standing when your kids move out. The same pattern applies across fast fashion, budget tools, discount appliances, and essentially anything sold primarily on the premise that it is technically the cheapest available option. The low initial price obscures a high total cost spread across enough time that you forget you've paid it. The calculation to run is cost divided by expected years of use. A $200 jacket worn for 10 years costs $20 per year. A $40 jacket replaced annually costs $40 per year, and the experience of wearing it for 12 months already knowing it was going to fall apart. This is not a savings. It is a subscription to slightly worse outcomes. Sometimes the mid-range option delivers the best value. Sometimes paying more upfront genuinely saves money over time. Cheap products bought repeatedly are expensive products marketed to people who can only see the sticker price, not the total cost spread across every replacement. Number 12. Subscriptions that auto-renew into the background. This one isn't a single category. It's a pattern. The $7.99 that seemed reasonable when you signed up, the $12 you approved during a free trial and forgot to cancel, the $4.99 that has been on your bank statement for 11 months and you genuinely cannot identify the product. Subscription services have been engineered with cancellation experiences that are the opposite of the sign-up experience. Signing up, one click, immediate access, smooth. Canceling, navigate 3 menus, complete a customer retention survey, receive an offer, decline the offer, confirm the cancellation, wait for the email confirmation that doesn't arrive for 4 days. The asymmetry is not an accident. According to West Monroe Partners, consumers underestimate their monthly subscription spending by an average of $133. The average American has 4.5 subscriptions they've forgotten about. That's $50 to $100 a month, $600 to $1,200 a year, floating out of accounts towards services that are actively counting on your inertia. Do one thing after this video. Open your most recent bank statement and search for every recurring charge. Identify each one. Evaluate whether you actually use it. Cancel anything that doesn't earn its place. Set a calendar reminder to do this again in 6 months. The subscriptions will be back. They're always back. So here's where we land. These 12 categories aren't random. They share a specific architecture. They exploit convenience, urgency, poor planning, or the particular human tendency to keep paying for something rather than make the slightly uncomfortable decision to stop. Prices rose, value fell, the habit continued.
The companies running these models aren't counting on your loyalty, they're counting on your inertia, on the fact that changing a spending pattern requires slightly more activation energy than continuing it. They're correct about most people. Most people continue. But here's what running the actual numbers does to this. Pick 3 items from this list that apply to your life: the storage unit, the weekly bar tabs, the extended warranties, the auto-renewing subscriptions. Add up what you're currently spending annually. For most households, 3 categories alone add up to $3,000 to $6,000 a year. At 8% returns, $5,000 invested annually for 20 years becomes nearly $250,000. Not from a windfall, not from a career change, from redirecting money that was leaving your account on autopilot toward things that were, if you're honest about it, not improving your life by $5,000. Your money is either working for you or it's working for someone else. In 2026, knowing which one is happening and deciding that consciously is the whole thing. If this video gave you something real today, subscribe to Money Blueprint. This channel exists to have these conversations honestly, without the shame and without the financial industry telling you what to think about your own money. And drop a comment. Which one on this list hit closest to home? I read every single one, and the answers are usually the most useful part of making these videos. I'll see you in the next one.